Hello there and a warm welcome to a very special interview in line with the Bangladesh Film Festival, which is to be held in Colombo. And today with us we have the High Commissioner of Bangladesh to Sri Lanka, His Excellency Tariq Muhammad Ariful Islam. A very warm welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Thank you to Rupavahini for having me here.
It's a pleasure and honor to have you with us to talk about the Bengali Film Festival. So speaking of the Bangladesh cinema, it's also called the Bengali cinema and Bangla cinema as well. So there's a lot of names and
yes.
We'll get to that. But it's better known as Dollywood, isn't it, Your Excellency?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about where Dollywood stands in terms of the world of cinema.
Thank you very much. Before I answer your question, let me say a few things about the history of the Bangla cinema industry. So the filmmaking in Bangla language started in the first decade of the 20th century. So right after the partition of India, there was an effort to turn Dhaka, our capital, Dhaka, into the cultural center or cultural capital of East Pakistan, our current day Bangladesh. And that is how this term Dhaka, Dhallywood, it came from Dhaka, it came into being. Now the Bangla cinema has seen its heydays during the 50s and the 60s. And right after the partition of India and after our independence, to be more precise, in 1971, Dhaka became the center of the Bangladeshi cinema industry. So and most of the Bangla films, Bangladeshi films for that matter, around that point in time were inspired naturally by our independence struggle. A lot of movies were coming through and industry was growing, but things were not so good during from mid 80s to the early 2000s, when because of a number of reasons, for example, drop in the quality of the cinema, introduction of satellite feed, home entertainment system, and also international influence of international movies, our cinegoers started to turn their face from the cinema industry. But one good thing happened over the past 1 decade is that our industry, our Bangla cinema industry, is seeing a revival. And a lot of successful movies, good movies are making box offices, and there is a qualitative change, and as a result, the cinegoers, they have turned their face and they are going back to the cinema. So that is a very good indication that we are experiencing in our cinema industry. Now to answer your question, Dhallywood, it may not be occupying as strong a base as Hollywood or Bollywood or even the regional film industry like the South Indian movies. Currently, Dhallywood produces about 100 films annually, but we have a huge and large audience base of around 300 million Bangla-speaking people around the globe. We have 160 million. West Bengal had got another 60 million, and there are 40 million expatriates all over the world. So that is a huge market and a big incentive. As a result, a lot of investment is coming. New talents are joining, and as a result, every year few Bangladeshi movies are gaining international recognition. So I would say that although our current position may not be very strong as compared to Bollywood, Hollywood, and of their likes, but we are emerging and we are on track to secure an prestigious position in the world of cinema.
As you say, there's a lot of support from the expatriates who speak the language, and also it's good to see that they encourage Bangladesh to
very much
come up with more creative and innovative movies as well. So speaking of Dollywood, now when you say the term Dollywood, I wouldn't know, but when you say Bengali cinema, it's a very well-known term, and it's not only, I think, enjoyed and watched in Bangladesh, but the world over as well. So let's also talk about both Indian cinema in West Bengal and the Bangladeshi cinema, which could be taken as Bengali cinema, as I mentioned. What is the unique identity of this?
Thank you. Our cinema, Bangladeshi cinema, it comes in all genres. So it's maybe difficult for me to identify one unique common feature that would be specific to Bangladeshi cinema and set it apart from the other movies in the world. But if you ask me, I would identify one unique feature, which is the emotional exuberance. Like we usually portray the human tragedy in a very melodramatic way. Perhaps this came from our traditional and classical literature, which predominantly portrays the human tragedy. So that is perhaps one identifying or unique feature, as you may call it. But like any other regional movie, song, dance and music plays an important role in our cinemas.
It's about connecting cultures, and also showing how we can enjoy.
Exactly.
Isn't it?
So often there will be a specific song composed to heighten a particular sequence, and which you may not find in Western movies, for example.
Yes, I think that could be like a very unique feature in a Bengali movie, and also we see some songs being shown even in Indian cinema as well, if I'm not mistaken. So we get to experience the genre of music Bangladesh has to offer in terms of watching a Bengali movie as well. So cinema speaks a universal language that can demystify countries and cultures as well, Your Excellency. So the Bangladesh film industry, as you mentioned, has come a long way in a very short period of time, and you mentioned that it was since the independence, and then again it kind of went very low key and then got back on track as well. Now that you're producing around 100 movies annually.
Yes.
So and directors also getting international fame, and they have been internationally acclaimed as well. So tell us about the current development of the Bangladesh cinema. What do you see as something new in the Bangladeshi cinema?
As I have said already, that our cinema industry is experiencing a revival for the better, and people are going back to the cinemas, and there are a number of reasons, because there has been a qualitative change in the cinema making, from casting to cinematography, from characterization to storytelling. The techniques are better, the investments are more, and as I have said, we have a huge audience base. Therefore, more and more people, talented people, are joining the industry. More professionals are joining in the industry. So there is a very positive impact overall, and as a result, we are having a good number of movies coming out of the industry every year. Now, there is another important change that we have seen, that our cinema, they are coming out of the traditional shell of so-called commercially successful movies, which are basically a concoction of unnecessary comic situation, maybe out of context songs and dances, sometimes irrelevant action sequences, and sometimes mere copying or remake of the Hollywood or Bollywood movies. So nowadays the stories, the directors are more important to the story, in the real life storytelling, so that people can connect and then can appreciate it more. So that is a phenomenal change, a paradigm shift, I would say, that has happened over the years. And recent movies are therefore focusing more of the real day strife. The characters, you can find them all around you, so it's very easy to connect them to you, and therefore the other good thing that has happened, there is very little difference between a mainstream commercial movie and an art film. So even the art films are now hitting box offices, which is a good sign for an industry. Apart from all these things, awareness is taking place about against piracy, about the strict enforcement of the copyright issues. And then there are...
This is about protecting the
local artists, the industry, the investors. And now our movies are distributed globally through global distribution companies. And they are released in the web-based platforms. So there is more professionalism coming into the industry, and that is a very healthy sign for any industry.
Exactly, with the growing advancement in technology as well, I think things have gotten a bit easier in terms of promoting the cinema industry the world over. I'd say it applies to many countries as well, because many have been struggling to put it out out there to the world, but now it's just a click away, isn't it? But it's
but
also
at the same time, we are very conscious about not seeing the movies for free.
exactly.
Right.
Very conscious. And we can also talk about how you mentioned that Bangladesh movies also touches on emotions, and being a country which has faced struggles back in the past. So let's talk about how the Bengali movies portray this, and how is it done usually?
You are very right. As a nation, we have faced many struggles. Our struggle for self-rule from the colonialization, from the colonial rule, our struggle for language, our struggle for independence in 1971. So it's very natural that our movies, our literature, and our cinemas, they will have our struggles as a predominant theme. So when it comes to human characterization, they naturally draws from those struggles. So our movies, they obviously they would portray our struggles. They portray the human strifes, and the strife against social taboos and socio-political unethical practices and all these things. So in addition, as you have rightly said, our directors, they put through their characters so in an emotional journey, and main characters are often, as I've said, very common. Very you look them around, you find them around, you can connect, you can put them into their shoes. And we have good cinematography, so it's more realistic. It gives a sense of originality. And other thing that has taken place over the past few years is the use of colloquial language. You know, then you can. It may be difficult. It may not be the very standard language, but some variants, some accents coming into place. But that gives a real life attribute to the human characterization. So these are the changes which are taking place in our industry.
For the betterment indeed. And the Bangladesh High Commission in Sri Lanka is going to host the third Bangladesh Film Festival. So that will be held in Colombo on the 6th, 7th and 8th of October. So could you also tell us more details about the festival?
Yes. You're right, this will be the third version of our film festival, 6th, 7th, 8th and October at Tarangani Theatre. So in total we will screen about 5 movies. The first day we will screen only one. It will start at 6 p.m. That will be preceded by an inaugural ceremony, a brief one. On the 7th and 8th of October we have 2 movies each day, and each one starts from 3:30 and the second one starts at 6 p.m. So this is basically all about it.
The agenda. Basically.
And the film lineup the film lineup portrays the powerful and the rich storytelling tradition of Bangladeshi cinema. And each film tells about a unique situation. It addresses some social issues. It inspires changes, and it challenges the social norms. So we choose the storyline to match the interest of the Sri Lankan audience. Like we have a lot of similarities, right? So in many of the movies you will see the societal similarities between our two societies. So that then it will be easy for the Sri Lankan audience to connect to the theme of the movie. And we hope this will have a lasting impression. And all the directors, as I have said, they belong to the new generation, very talented. Many of them has got international recognition, and the casts are also class of their own in Bangladesh. And all the movies are obviously critically acclaimed, both domestically and abroad. And more importantly, all of them are commercially very successful. So it will not only be a celebration of Bangladeshi cinema, but I think this will be also a celebration of the cultural similarity, the similarity of artistic expression between our two countries.
Exactly. It's about sharing and showing the Sri Lankans what we have in common as well in terms of traditions and culture. Rehana Mariam Noor Rat Jaga Full, Nona Jolar Kabu, I hope I got it right.
Yes, you got it right.
And we also have Damal and No Dore, the 5 films to be screened during the festival. So would you like to introduce those films briefly, as you did mention a little bit about what we have in store. So if you could just tell us about how well this is done in Bangladesh, and about also the directors and the cast.
Okay, sure. The Rehana Mariam Noor, this is directed by Abdullah Muhammad Saad, and this is the story. This is set in a urban setting. This is about a next door girl, an assistant professor in a medical college, a single mother. she faces a difficult experience of being witness to a sexual harassment where she happens to know both the perpetrator and the victim. So as she tries to put the perpetrators, bring the perpetrator to justice, at the same time she faces a very difficult psychological dilemma, how to address the situation, and that also puts the audience in a moral dilemma, what to do and what not to do. And this is one of the most critically acclaimed cinema of our time. It made this movie was the first Bangladeshi movie to be officially nominated for the Cannes Film Festival in 2021. It has made to other film festivals, Busan Film Festival and all, and it has won many accolades like Film Festival Award in Spain in 2022 and the Best Actress and Jury Grand Prize as Asia Pacific Screen Awards in 2021. Then the Nona Joler Kabbo, in English we call it Salt in. This was produced by, directed by Rizwan Shahryar. The movie portrays the struggling life of our fishermen. So here the main character is Rudro, who is an aspiring yet disillusioned sculptor who lives the chaotic city life and goes to a fishing village only to find to his dismay how the hapless life of fishermen is exploited by local goons.
Very touching
stories.
Very
touching using
movies, I'd say.
Religion as a weapon. So as he tries to enlighten the uneducated mass, he is inspired by the unadulterated love of two siblings of his host country. This also debuted in a number of film festivals and it got the national award in 7 national awards in 2021. The third one is Raat Jaga Phul. This is directed by Mir Sabbir. In this film, the main character's name is Rois. He is a loner, an insane guy, but he has a mysterious power to communicate with animals.
Interesting.
So this also won a National Film Award in 2021.
So that's what we've got in store for you. I mean, in terms of the Bangladesh High Commission, which is to offer the film festival with these interesting movies. So they get to visit this film festival and watch all these movies free of charge. That's the most important
it's a
thing.
free
We need
entrance
to
event.
mention that as well. So, Your Excellency, we've come towards the latter part of the program. So we've come towards the little final few minutes. So you wanted to, give out a message to the public as well, isn't it, Your Excellency? Why not?
Yes. So this film festival, it's all about celebrating the cultures, our cultural similarities, the artistic expressions, the values, the social political norms that we share. So this will be we are showcasing all of our the contemporary cinematic masterpieces, and this will introduce to the Sri Lankan audience the power of storytelling, the rich and the diverse storytelling. As you would understand, the storyline is very diverse. The directors are the best of their class, the casts are the best in their class. So this will be, we hope that this will be a very nice and very insightful journey and cinematic experience for the Sri Lankan audience. So we will tell all of you to join the 3rd Bangladesh Film Festival with friend and family, and I hope you will enjoy it.
And yes, you've also selected Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation as the partner for the Bangladesh Film Festival. We are privileged to be one of the partners as well. Thank you so much for that. And at the same time, thank you very much for coming here and giving us a brief idea, or I'd say not brief, but as much as possible about the film festival and also about the Bengali cinema industry and how this would certainly give Sri Lankan film enthusiasts, cinema enthusiasts, a chance to have a look at what Bangladesh has to offer in terms of movies. And I'm sure we also make similar movies, as you mentioned, so we can get some ideas and learn the culture and traditions of the country as well. So once again, a quick reminder to the general public that the Bangladesh Film Festival will be held on the 6th, 7th and 8th of October, and it's in Colombo, and it is free of charge.
Tarangani Theatre.
At the Tarangani Theatre. So you're most welcome to enjoy some very interesting Bengali movies. And at the same time, thank you very much, Your Excellency, for being a part of the show.
No, I am honored and privileged to be in partnership with Rupavahini, and we are looking forward to the film festival end of the week.
We are eagerly looking forward to it as well. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
And this was a special interview with His Excellency Tariq Muhammad Ariful Islam, the High Commissioner of Bangladesh to Sri Lanka. Thank you so much for tuning in.